I have no idea how I'm going to introduce this series, so let's jump right in with what grinds my gears, and that is spending over £100 on Microsoft 365. So much so that I have actually gone ahead and cancelled it. And I will be doing a completely different video on what I've done there as part of the offline reboot channel. But in this episode, I'd like to launch a mini-series called the Offline Test, where we take a look at applications from yesteryear to see if they can still add value and still allow us to perform the productivity functions of today. Today. That would be cool, wouldn't it? So in this episode, we're going to take a look at Lotus SmartSuite 97 and specifically one application from that suite of tools called Word Pro. Let's take a look at this beautiful artwork. I do have here an original purchased off eBay for a few pounds. And I literally mean, I think it was like £4 or £5. It wasn't much at all. Has the original hologram on there and the media inside. So this is a fully legit copy of Lotus SmartSuite 97, and of course to run it I can't install that on Windows 11, but I can run that inside of VirtualBox, where I have my very own copy of Windows XP fully licensed and activated running inside of VirtualBox here. And I don't know why, but I feel like I need to prove this. I'm one of those people who really does not like to download software that I just haven't paid for. So here we go. This is my Windows XP disk, all shiny and nice, also from eBay. Thank you, eBay. You are the best. Now, that is not to say that for educational purposes, I am not against also downloading stuff from archive.org to take a look at it, etc. But for me, I just feel comfortable if I'm going to be using something that I feel might actually add value to my life and to my workflow processes, etc., then I reckon I should probably buy the product. So that's what I've done in this case. I've taken a look on eBay, and there it was for a few quid. So let's just jump straight in. This is a word processor from 1996-97. How the heck in 2025 or beyond is this going to add any value? And I want to take a look. I want to edit this document. This is a legitimate document that we are actually working on. Tim is my business partner in Event Engine, and we're putting together an about us that really sets our position in the industry. And I want this document to look good, and I want to use it in two different ways. I want to use it on the website for the about page, so I want to be able to copy and paste information and retain formatting. And I also want to be able to save this as a document, because that document's going to be popped onto our Google Drive. It's something that's going to become a living, breathing document of which Tim maybe wants to edit as well, and then at some point print. So I need to be able to extract this document once finished in a nice format and put it in those two locations, on the website and also onto Google Drive in a format that Tim is going to be able to work with. So first things first, let's take a look at the interface. We have our big text dump here, and I'm going to go ahead and select this title. And instead of at the top where we'd normally have our ribbons if you were, say, using Microsoft Word, I'm going to jump down here and I'm just going to select heading 1. So there we have our first heading. Now I can go through and select heading 2 for here, just like you would expect to in Microsoft Word. And I can go then ahead throughout this entire document and set up my heading structure. So no doubt with the amazing editing of Priya, we're going to fast forward and you're going to see me having finished adding all of the styling rather than you waiting to watch me doing it live. Okay, so I've gone through this document and let's scroll down, and I want to select these. These are my heading 3s or header 3s, and I want to cycle through the indent options just to take a look at how I can make this section look a little more obvious. I think a couple of indents looks great there. Now, maybe I also want to scroll to the end of my document and put the our approach and commitment to quality in a couple of columns. So let's create a line break. And let's create some parallel columns. So that's 2. And we're then going to grab our text here, paste that there. And we're also going to grab this text and paste that there. Now that obviously looks a wee bit ugly, so I'm going to pop that onto the second page just for now. Now there's a few other things that we would expect to work here, and that includes things like bold. So we develop or powerful. Let's make develop powerful look a bit more obvious. Perhaps we want to do things like underline, and all I'm doing here is using the typical keyboard shortcuts. Control I, Control U for underline, Control B for bold. So all of those are there as you would expect, including if we want to make very specific changes to specific areas of text. So maybe I want to change the color here to red, and all of that is going to carry through when we export this information. Now we can do all sorts more. We can insert tables. We've got our option here to insert tables. This is again fully compatible with websites, with Word documents, etc. We can also insert images and much more, but just for the sake of this demonstration, this is a living, breathing, working document that we are actually working on, and I want to show you that we can use Word Pro all the way from 1996, 97 to be able to compose in a distraction-free way a perfectly good document that looks great, that can then work on any modern machine. So what we're going to do is we are going to export this information, and I think before we do, actually, let's just prove very quickly that we can insert a table as well. So we're going to insert this table, and we're going to put 97. Did anyone do that? Yo, that was also very popular. Right, save. So I've just saved that, and there's my table at the very end. Now, there's 2 different formats that we can do, that we can utilize. So format number 1 is going to be in a HTML form. And you may be thinking, hey Lee, what about links? Well, good job you said that. Let's just go to Internet and show web authoring tools. And I'm going to click on this word and create a link. And here I could maybe type in eventengine.tv. That's our main website. And then I'm going to highlight this. Whoops. And also press Control I again. So it's a link and still italicized. Let's double click on here. Create link. I don't know. Let's put music.com. Boom. There we go. So we've popped in a couple of links as well, and I'm going to hit save again. Now, what I will do is export this, or save as, a HTML file ready for me to copy and paste that into our website, which is WordPress, and the HTML will be perfectly formatted for WordPress. WordPress will accept that into the block builder without any issues, and then I can apply any other styling that I want. So that's the first format that we're going to do. I'm going to press OK. Next format we want to do is save this as a Word document, and that's going to be a MS Word document 7.0. So that's quite an old format, but let's click on this, About Us, and press save. So we now have 2 different versions of this document. Now they're both being saved on a special drive which is shared. This is our shared drive, and this is sharing on my host machine, being the Windows 11 machine that I'm using. So now I'm going to drag into the screen my file explorer, and we can see all of the different files. Now I don't have Lotus or any Lotus compatible software on this machine right now, like LibreOffice, but I do have Microsoft Word 2021 because I don't want to pay for the cloud anymore. So I can open the About Us document in there, but first let's take a look at this, the HTML file. I'm going to drag that in, and here is our HTML ready to rock and roll. It looks beautiful, I know, but if I was to literally copy and paste that, I would be able to copy that into the WordPress editor, and away I go. This is in the perfect format. All of those links as well have been retained. So we have Event Engine, and we also have music.com, all of my formatting, etc., even the color of the text. Now, let's also, therefore, excuse me, take a look at the About Us document. And again, we can see everything. We can see here it's actually got our formatting, including our on purpose awkward fonts, so that we can see we've got our columns, and we also have my very crazy cool Lee was here 97. But you can see here everything is there as you would expect. Now, if I hit enable editing, you can continue to edit this, or you can move this into the cloud such as Google Drive. So in my instance, I'll probably be uploading this into Google Drive so that Tim can continue to edit it. Now, I would say there are some limitations, and the first one being here. This link has not carried through. I've saved this as a doc in the, I think it's a Windows 95 version, so 7.0, I think that's Windows 95, and the hyperlink just isn't there. It doesn't exist, so my link will have been lost. Not my formatting, so the formatting has been carried over from WordPro, but things like links, if I'm saving in doc format, will get dropped. So there are, of course, limitations. This is an old product, but it does at least show us that we can actually create a document in a very old product that can be opened and edited by other people in different circumstances. We've proven that we can save it in HTML, which does retain our links, which can then be repurposed either for a document, because Word can actually open HTML, you can continue to edit, but also can be repurposed in WordPress or other online platforms. And we've shown as well that we can export as a Word document and use the world's most famous word processor, Microsoft Word. Arguably, I think it's the world's most famous, but we have this ability. So now let's look at this at the bigger picture. Am I saying we should be using Word Pro to do all of our work in the future? Well, not necessarily. If you want to, for nostalgia's sake, you can. But also if you want to, because it's a great way of running a machine in a distraction-free environment with no notifications, then I would also say do. And I will often run VirtualBox full screen. I'll have Windows 11 itself in focus mode, so I'm not actually getting any notifications. And I'm entirely working inside of VirtualBox with an application such as WordPro as part of the Lotus SmartSuite 97 package. I'm able to write, edit, make it look good. I don't have any internet, I don't have any distractions, and then I can export that in a format where I can then take it into something a bit more modern and refine it. I guess my point is you don't have to use the latest version or subscribe to the latest software. Stuff from 5, 10, and in this case, even over 20 years ago is still completely fine, can still be used to add value today. So just like planned obsolescence when it comes to real world physical items like your phone, etc., software too can absolutely still be used. So this series is going to be where we continue to explore different products like word processors, Excel type products, so spreadsheets, presentations, I don't know, customer relations management systems, etc. What can we explore? What does or doesn't work from yesteryear that could or may not be able to add any value? You can tell this is not scripted in today's modern day and age and on into the future, because I'm kind of hoping that this video will be what's the word? Future-proof. If you are watching in 2035, you should be able to still open up VirtualBox, install Windows XP, install this exact product, Lotus SmartSuite 97, and still be able to create a document and more than likely export that in some format that will be compatible for the world of 2035. Folks, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, do give us a like and also let us know what you liked about this video in the comments. Also, let me know what software you think I should be trying today to see if it still has any value to offer now and on into the future. Are you still using really old software and really don't care about the latest and greatest? Then tell us what you're using. What's your stack? Are you still on Windows 10, which is now end of life? Are you still on Windows 95? If you are, you're a legend. I presume you're not on the internet though as well. Be careful. So thank you. No idea how to close out. So let's see you in the next video.